So today's video is going to be a little bit different to what you're normally used to seeing on my YouTube channel. I have quite a few other hobbies. Carp fishing isn't everything for me. And over the last few years I've really been getting into my aquariums and keeping fish. And a couple of months ago I set up my first tank in this house, and I've always been really interested in how these guys do these aquascapes. And I tried to set up a tank a couple of months ago and it grew, but it just looked horrendous. The lighting was too low, I was getting serious algae problems, and this video is all about a second chance. So, a few months ago, I set this tank up, and it was basically supposed to be an aquascape with plants and everything, and it seems to have grown quite well. There's loads of mistakes that I've done here with all this gravel's come to the top, but I've got a second chance. And basically what this video is about is, in here, there's behind this rock, there's a fish called a ghost knife fish, and it has well outgrown this tank. You can't see it at the moment. It's probably around here. See him. There it is. This afternoon's plan is to go out, find a new tank to set up and make a new home for these fish. And I don't think we're going to go for the plant setup this time. I think this one looks perfect. Yeah, I think so. I'll ask him in a minute. Getting a new tank, new home for the knife fish. It's about time he's outgrown it a little bit. Well, that's a bit of a buzz. I've just turned up at a different aquatic store, which I thought had gone years ago, but they just moved up the road. And basically, I'm in a bit of a sticky situation. I've bought this ghost knife fish a few months ago now with a new tank for a scape, and it's outgrown it already. It's grown absolutely massive really quickly. And I don't want to go out and spend loads of money on a big new tank if it's going to outgrow that as well. And they've just found me a tank which is a 200 litre with a stand, and they've got a filter, heaters already included, and it's got a lighting system which you can use via the app. So done it all for a real steal for me. So basically I'm going to break down the other tank and I'm going to give this ghost somewhere to be able to move now. So I'm yeah, a bit buzzed. So it's going to be a right mission trying to transfer the tanks over. But yeah, let's get in there, load it up, get it home, and hopefully we can sort things out. So this is where we're at. This is the tank of the ghost knife fish. And now this is his new home. I've got this for an absolute steal. It's a 200 litre tank. It's come with a filter already, but we're going to change that because it's obviously got old media and everything in it. We've got a LED light strip which already has an app as well, so it's controllable by the app, and there's also a heater in there, so I think I've done reasonably well getting that. It's an absolute beast as well, so yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting that set up, but I must give it a clean first. Well, I've had a little change of plan. I was only going to do a hardscape on this tank, but I thought to myself, if I ever want to add plants, then once it's filled up with water, it's very hard to put a substrate in. So basically, just to be on the safe side, if I ever want to do it, which I probably will, actually now I've had more thought about it, I've got some substrate. And what I've learned from my last tank was not to put it on the bottom loose, because when you're clearing out the tank, sometimes it can make its way to the surface, and then it looks really messy. I've seen this from another YouTuber. He puts his aqua soil in bags. So basically, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fill this up into these bags and then plant them. So that should be better. Well, that didn't quite go to plan, what I was just talking to you about. Basically, I thought I'd brought some mesh bags here so I could put the aqua soil in, but they're not. These aren't bags. These are carbon clean and clear renewal sachets, so I have no idea what they are. So that is that idea out the window. So what I'm going to have to do now is put the substrate on the bottom, and then I'm going to have to make sure I put a thick layer of sand over the top of it this time, because I don't want to be seeing any of it. So yeah, a bit pissed about that, because I wanted to do it really properly this time, but I'm just going to have to make sure that I'm careful about where I'm putting the soil. So the big tank has now been running and set up for a couple of days. It's had API startup liquid that's been put into there as well to give it some beneficial bacteria. It's also got some substrate in there, so that's always going to help with bacteria as well. So yeah, basically we are ready to introduce a couple of fish. So I'm not going to introduce all of them and the ghost straight away. I'm going to put the smaller fish into the tank and see how they get on. Like I say, the water should be perfectly fine now. Temperature's all settled, they're both at 27 degrees. So yeah, let's introduce the first fish. So it's the next day now from when I introduced the small fish into the big tank, and they seem to be doing superbly. So I think now it is time to get rid of this tank out of the living room and introduce the predators into the big tank. I can't wait for this. Oh god, he was a bit easier to get than last night. Looks like he's stressing out. Stressed. Right, this is the last fish inside this aquarium, and it's the beast. I don't even think my net's going to be big enough for him, but I've got a little flannel as well, which I can cover the top with. I'm going to have to move some of these rocks, and then hopefully I can get him. But this is the knife fish. They swim backwards and all sorts, so I'll give it my best shot. It's okay, mate. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He's in. Just got back from the fish shop. Got a green terror, which is acclimating in the tank at the moment. And down here I've got some plants ready to be planted. I only got a few because it's cost quite a bit, so I thought every time I go to the aquatics I can pick up a few and plant them. So yeah, it needs a bit of greenery in the tank.
he's seen enough nets today.
Yes. Right.
Sure.
There he goes. So guys, I know this isn't the normal content that I put out, and if you've made it to the end, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back very soon with some fishing content. See you again.